Hi, I'm historian and author Claire Ridgway and welcome back to my Tudor Christmas Advent series. Today we're stepping inside the Tudor home to explore something we think we know very well, Christmas decorations. But Tudor decor looked nothing like our trees, tinsel and twinkling lights. In fact, a Tudor walking into one of our homes in early December would think we were outrageously early. For them, Christmas Eve, and only Christmas Eve, was Decoration Day. In Tudor England, the house was transformed with evergreens such as holly, ivy, laurel and rosemary. These plants weren't chosen simply because they looked festive, they symbolised eternal life through Christ, staying green even in the depth of winter. They were also thought to bring good luck and protection to a household. Holly and ivy have been associated with Christmas for centuries, and they're the reason we still think of Christmas as red and green. The Druids regarded holly as sacred, and Christians later gave it new meaning. The red berries symbolised Christ's blood, the sharp leaves represented the crown of thorns, and holly was also believed to keep out evil, including witchcraft. Evergreens weren't just draped on beams and placed above doorways. Tudor families often created what's known as a kissing bough. According to English heritage, ash or willow was bent into a round frame. It was covered with evergreens, then hung from ceilings or over doorways, and welcomed guests with goodwill. This is where our modern tradition of kissing under mistletoe begins, though the Tudors didn't necessarily include mistletoe in the bough itself. But where did mistletoe get its romantic reputation? Well, mistletoe was sacred to the Druids and used in solstice celebrations, believed to have healing properties and magical power. Historian Heather Darcy notes that kissing under the mistletoe may go back to ancient Greece, where mistletoe was associated with marriage rituals, or the Romans, who used it as a symbol of peace, or the Norse, who told the story of the goddess Frigg and her son Baldur. Siobhan Clarke and Alison Weir retell this beautifully. When Baldur was killed by being stabbed with a sprig of mistletoe, Frigg wept, and her tears became the plant's white berries. In her grief, she declared that mistletoe would never again be used for harm, and that all who passed beneath it must exchange a kiss in friendship and peace. A lovely thought, and one that echoes gently through Tudor and modern custom. Today, most of us dismantle Christmas shortly after Boxing Day or by Twelfth Night at the latest. The Tudors? They often kept their greenery up until Candlemas Eve, the 1st of February, but definitely not a day longer. 17th century poet Robert Herrick warned that leaving decorations up past Candlemas might invite goblins. Down with the rosemary and so, down with the bays and mistletoe, for look how many leaves there be, neglected there, so many goblins you shall see. So there you go, take them down on time or you may have unwanted supernatural visitors. It wasn't only Tudor houses that were bursting with greenery. Chronicler John Stowe writes that during Elizabeth I's reign, every building in London was decorated. Even the public water conduits were adorned with evergreens. Oh, imagine walking through the city, red berries, green branches, and the smell of fresh greenery everywhere. A bit different to the Christmas lights of today. One Tudor decoration that feels very familiar today is the Christmas crib, the nativity scene. Clarke and Weir note that model nativity scenes go back at least to the 5th century, when Pope Sixtus III had a crib built in Rome. At midnight mass, the figure of the baby Jesus was placed in the manger, marking the moment of his birth. In the 13th century, St. Francis of Assisi created the first living nativity scene, complete with real animals and people. Here in Spain, where I live, the tradition is still going strong. People set up cribs in their homes, and towns create huge scenes, whole miniature landscapes with flowing rivers, glowing fires, and dozens of figures. Some coastal towns even sculpt theirs entirely out of sand. So, Tudor Christmas decorations weren't shiny, sparkling, or that brightly coloured. Instead, they were deeply symbolic. Evergreens for eternal life, Holly for protection and sacrifice, ivy for fidelity and strength, mistletoe for peace and healing, and the crib for the heart of the season itself. It was a world of greenery, fragrance and meaning, a reminder that winter would pass, spring would come, and that the Christmas season held both solemnity and joy. Thank you for joining me for today's instalment of my Tudor Christmas Advent series. If you're enjoying these festive dives into Tudor tradition, then please do like, subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss the next video. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.